Hi again, welcome. This is Michigan's AutoTalk Podcast, and this is episode number 67. Every episode of Michigan's AutoTalk is about celebrating the automobile, everything automotive. We're also about helping and supporting you, car and truck owners across our great state of Michigan, birthplace of just about everything automotive. We are everywhere you listen to podcasts. Don't forget you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, and your favorite smart speaker, including Amazon Alexa. So we are here in episode 67, minus one of my co-hosts. That would be Al Schwinkendorf. John Puhek is here. Michigan's AutoTalk Podcast is the only podcast of its kind hosted by actual automotive technicians who actually, for nearly 25 years, did a radio show in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We are pleased in this episode to go nearly all Ford. There may be an occasional Chevy comment with Mr. Puhek as a part of this podcast. Can you keep them just to a minimum, if that's possible?
Well, I'm going to do the best I can. But again, Al's gone, so there's nothing to get on the other side of that seesaw. But I'll try to hold everything back.
Yeah, I can totally concur. In this episode, we are pleased to welcome Ciera Casteel. Ciera is, she's an archivist. She's got a really interesting gig. She is an assistant archivist for audiovisual processing for Ford, but she spent a significant amount of time working on really one of the coolest things on the internet for car lovers, which is the Ford Heritage Vault. The Ford Heritage Vault, which is really a place where you can find just about everything for Ford fans, Ford lovers, pictures, booklets, old product manuals. It's just a treasure trove of stuff. It is called the Ford Heritage Vault, and we're pleased to welcome Ciera Casteel to this episode. Ciera, first of all, thanks for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So I am curious, you're an archivist. I mean, this is something you go to school for. You went to undergrad Saginaw Valley, so you went to SVSU. You went to Wayne State, and then you got a master's degree in history, but you're also a graduate level archivist. So this is like in your wheelhouse. And did you ever expect to be working as an archivist for Ford Motor Company, or did that happen from the start? Talk a little bit about how you got connected here.
Sure. I do just want to give an update on my current position. I am the collections archivist now. We have a new person who took on that role, who's the assistant for AV processing, just so that I give her the credit that's due. But so I did get my undergrad degree in history at Saginaw Valley, and then I went on, got my master's in history at Wayne State, and then realized that I was actually going to need to graduate and make some money somehow. So started looking into the archival field and got a graduate certificate in archival administration, which I didn't know too much about archives before I was in grad school. It was purely just through doing research and the great professors that I had who pointed us in the direction of archives and finding primary source material to do our research. And I was like, oh, this is really great. I would love to be able to create access to historical assets like this as my career. And so I graduated and was on the job hunt, and I am a Michigan girl, born and bred. So having posting in Dearborn for an archives job, I was like, that's right up my alley. I want to stay in Michigan. And it just so happened that job was at Ford Motor Company. So we actually worked through an agency called the Winthrop Group, who staffs archivists across the country. And so initially, when looking at the job posting, I wasn't sure where exactly it would be, just because they weren't able to post that in the job posting. So I just lucked out, and it ended up being at Ford. And I've been here for almost 3 years. and just been learning so much. It's I never get bored of it because it's something new every day. There's always something new to look at.
Yeah,
try to work on.
What's really interesting is this is not something you typically see a major automotive company do, which is to put vast amounts of old stuff online. As I was saying earlier, just about every kind of imaginable car that Ford has ever made is on here. In fact, the advanced search features on this website are amazing. You can just toggle the color white, and it will show you every white car that's on the Ford Heritage Vault, FordHeritageVault.com, which is pretty amazing. What do you know about the backstory about how Ford came to build or to launch this Ford Heritage Vault? Talk about that if you can.
Yeah, sure. So we've been working on this project for about 2 years at this point. We, the Ford Archives, we have an internal system where we are able to do research within our own collection so that when we get a request, we can find the materials and the assets that best serve to answer the questions that we're trying to answer. And so we have that internal site, and then we built an additional site that allows Ford employees to dive into that collection. And then the natural extension of that was, okay, now what can we provide to the public? Because we do answer requests from enthusiasts and journalists and people in the public who get a hold of us, but we wanted to be able to create something that would really let any user on the internet go and find images and product brochures and materials that they're looking for that can really just showcase the great products and history that we have at Ford. So we initially started off with images and brochures, but we're looking to continue to expand.
And I went on the website a little earlier today, just doing a little research. And the one thing that kind of struck me is whenever I go to car shows, I always see like the very, numbers matching Mustang or what have you. And they have the little brochure, but it's all in black and white. It's like photocopied 80,000 times, so you can barely see what's going on. But when you look at your website and you type in, like Phil was saying, I've got a white Fairlane of, this year, boom, it brings it up, and it's all the exact brochure, and it's colored, and it's clean, it's clear. And that was just one thing that kind of blew me away. Like looking at that, you're like, wow, so this wasn't just a photocopy of a photocopy. This was the original, and somebody took the time or had the digital competency to make sure that it wasn't fuzzy and what have you. And it's so nice. And the other thing that kind of it gets me off guard, because I look at not so much the brochures, but like the owner's manuals of today, and it's much more matter of fact. Here's your CD here, or CD. Here's your whatever. But then you look at some of those the older ones, and they're like, it's a story. Here's a gentleman, or here's a fancy lady, and it's not just a simple little, this is how the car works. They tell a story, and I think that is just. And I know Al, if he ever listens to this listens to this episode, will be kicking himself, because he has so many old books and brochures of this exact setup where it's telling you about, oh, well, once you buy this car, you're gonna live this lifestyle, and you hear all this, the fancy tales, and it was much more than just turn left. You hit the clock 4 times, and that's going to put you to the hour setting to reset your time. So I think that's really cool that you guys have that ability, or you have that database of just so much nice, crisp, clean information that is, it's really, really cool.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's I definitely enjoyed working through those brochures. So in order to get those brochures on the website, we did have to send them out to be digitized because we have thousands of them. So we work with this great vendor, Digital Solutions, who has digitized those brochures for us. And then they came back to us, and then we have to individually plug those into our internal system that we have, and we use these giant spreadsheets in order to keep track of all of this information and make it so that all of these things are searchable, so that you can go to that advanced search and you can click white and you'll pull back all of the white images that we have or that we've given access to on the site. Or you can type in the year and you'll pull back all of the things that were that model year that you're looking for. So each of these things that you're using to search for is something that we had to manually plug in so that they could, populate on the website for you. But you're totally right. There were great stories presented in these brochures that are just I don't know. I especially love the Falcon brochures from the 1960s, the Fairlane brochures from the 60s, the 77 freewheeling Ford that we have that brochure on here, and there isn't any product photography in it. It's all just sketches and these really great 70s drawings.
I saw that.
You got something going on where you don't even need to look at the car or do anything. Just you got the car. Yeah. Here's a little book for you.
Right. Look at these awesome pictures, of these drawings of people out and about having fun, like the youth of the time driving around in their awesome tricked out freewheeling Econoline, or parasailing off of a mountain with their Mustang in the foreground. Like they're great storytelling devices, and there is so much history within those brochures, and it's awesome that we've been able to have them digitized at this quality and then created this public access to them. It's been a lot of work, but it's been a labor of love, and we're really happy with the way that it's turned out.
Yeah, we're speaking with Ciera Casteel, by the way. She is an archivist who has been working on the amazing Ford Heritage Vault. You can check it out as you're listening to this podcast at FordHeritageVault.com. I'm curious, you hinted beyond the literally thousands of photos and the brochures, what might be next, Ciera, for Ford to place on the Ford Heritage Vault?
Yeah, so we have about 100 years of product photography of almost every Ford and Lincoln vehicle from 1903 to 2003. And so next we're trying to do a major push for Mercury products along the same timeline. Because we want to make sure that those are represented, and there are some really great, cool-looking Mercuries over the years that I can't wait for people to see. We do have access to the Mercury brochures on the website currently, but just not the images, so we're working on that. And then we are talking about potentially concept cars getting uploaded, UK product photography. We have a huge photographic collection from the archives that were at Ford UK. And so we're working through those, trying to potentially get those uploaded. Potentially down the line, we might look at motorsports if we can get the rights all worked out on those. So we have some huge plans, and we're working on it.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool. And you mentioned 1903. A lot of people forget that there were Fords then, and it's 2022. So we're going way, way back. And Mercury, for a lot of people, especially young drivers, Mercury is kind of like, what? Was that a part of Ford?
Yeah.
And it was a huge deal. Mercury was always kind of you're one of those people. You have the upper thrust. But they made some really cool cars. They made some great muscle cars. For full disclosure, Ciera, I own and drive a 65 Ford Galaxy 500 convertible, and that's awesome. It's Wimbledon white, and there are some pictures of Galaxies on there, so I think that's totally cool. By the way, you didn't even tell John and me. Were you into cars at all before this job happened, or the cars kind of grew on you and the whole Ford vibe?
To be totally honest with you, the cars have grown on me. I would not have considered myself a car enthusiast or car person before getting this job.
That's totally
All right.
cool.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. So
Yeah.
what do you currently drive?
So I got to be honest with you. I currently drive a Chevy because
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How you like me
I
now?
probably shouldn't even say this on record, but I do drive a Chevy just because both of my grandmothers worked for Chevy, so
Boom.
I have had that Chevy discount. So I'm from the Flint area originally, so that's
oh yeah.
Okay. Yep.
just it's in my blood.
Yep.
Totally. And you know what?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Nothing at all. I know. I you know, and actually, it's good that you're supporting the family.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jim Farley, someone will just accidentally send him this podcast, and Jim's gonna go, okay, we got to send a Mach-E to Ciera and just take care of this right now, or maybe an F-150 Lightning, or maybe something from the vintage vault. Who knows? Who knows what it might be?
You mentioned the Lightning. I gotta tell you, on Friday I just drove one for an employee drive event, and it was honestly my first time in an electric vehicle, and I was stunned. It completely exceeded my expectations. It was a beautiful truck, so roomy in there, and acceleration was a little out of control. It was so fast. But yeah, if he wants to send me an F-150 Lightning, I will gladly take it. That's
Okay,
beautiful.
all right. We've thrown the challenge down.
There you go.
and there you have it, right there. I got to tell you, this is such an amazing thing, and to know that you've got so much more to come, including Mercury stuff and stuff from Ford Racing.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be it'll be worth checking a lot. Again, the website is fordheritagevault.com. Your eyes and your heart as a car lover will thank you once you discover this website. And Ciera, I know you have been working with a lot of people on this as an archivist, so just hats off to you, cheers to you and your team, and thank you for making yourself available to talk about this really cool online resource for car lovers everywhere, even people like John Puhek, who is a Chevy guy.
Yeah, and honestly, I was looking at the website, and I can remember as the beginnings of the internet and all this stuff, looking for like background wallpaper stuff, like, oh, what's a cool car? How can I do this? Your website, there's so many. I mean, again, Chevy guy, but there's so many beautiful cars. It's like, I can tell you, just playing around today on the little bit of lunch break that I did have, I changed probably the wallpaper maybe 14 or so times to see how can I get this picture just right, to get this forward, to get that, and it's all off of your website. Those pictures are gorgeous. And yeah, it's just so nice to see those things properly done.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's interesting because, as you said, like, the Falcon, it's a different time, and just to look at some of I love the brochures, the brochures that showed, the family and the dog, and I grew up years ago. I've got a few years on both of you guys, and I grew up with a 1970 Ford Country Squire station wagon, with the fake wood panels, and when I see that in some of the brochures, I'm like, it's instant time capsule. I'm transported back to, oh yeah, I remember riding in that rear metal seat where you felt like you were in a different part of the country, riding all the way back there. It was a different time, but a lot of fun and just a lot of great memories, including there's a picture on the website of a Ford Falcon Club wagon, which looks almost like a retro VW van. This is wild. I've never seen one of these. This is a 1962 Ford Falcon Club wagon, and it's, trust me, for our listeners who check it out, you're going to look at it and go, Ford made one of those? Yes, they did. Don't know if they sold a lot of them, but it's got an interesting wheelbase and a very unusual design. Well, Ciera Casteel,
Yeah.
we are so grateful for your time, and again, congratulations to you and your team on the Ford Heritage Vault. We at some point down the road, we're going to have to check back with you when you've got some new stuff to talk about there, okay?
Yeah, please do. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, and you have a great rest of your week, rest of your summer. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Enjoy that Chevy.
Fitting parting words. Thanks so much, Ciera. We appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Ciera Casteel, amazing website that she's been involved in as the processing archivist. Again, it's FordHeritageVault.com. We got her to admit she drives a Chevy. Way to go, Buick.
Booyah.
Talk went up for you there.
Yep. Well, and I think so much of the archiving that, most people, they don't really think about, but the keeping that history. Now, I get the nostalgia aspect of it, but just the flat out logging all that data and making sure that is not lost, I think is a really big thing that, who knows down the road, maybe my son Mikey will, be logging a 2025, Chevy 1500 or a Volkswagen diesel, whatever. But, the archiving, I think, is, if you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you've been, and you keep that kind of cool stuff. And I think that is so cool. And that website, again, not a Ford guy, but I went on there and it was just so cool to see. You type in year, they've got the pictures, they've got the brochures, and you can scroll through, and some of them are like PDFs set up so you can, quasi download it and, blow it up if it doesn't fit up on your computer screen and read it, and just all the information and the way they used to sell the cars. I've never seen the show Mad Men, but it's kind of that kind of,
exactly.
Big, it's the lifestyle of a Ford Falcon or whatever, I think that is so cool, because you look at it today and it's, well, this is what you've got next. What do you want? You want Bluetooth? You want this? Next. Boom, 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 done. So I think it's pretty cool.
It is indeed. That is going to put the wraps on episode number 67. Don't forget, we live on Facebook, facebook.com/Michigan's Auto Talk, and we would love to hear from you there. We have a lot more episodes planned, and don't forget, you can find John and Al at Verberg's Automotive. We are at Spreaker. We're at Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and like I said earlier, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. And until next time, for Al Schrinkendorf, I'm Phil Tower.
I'm John Puhek. Thanks for listening. Have a good one.
We'll catch you again real soon, everyone. Have a good one.